gorgeous people. We are back for day 4 of our 10 days of TLLC. And today I have my gorgeous friend Alice with me. Hello, Alice.
Hello. Hello.
Why don't we kick it off, babe, just by you sharing a little bit about yourself so everyone knows who the fabulous Alice is that they're listening to.
Okay, so for those of you who are not on my page, my name is Alice. I am a mum to 3 gorgeous but crazy homeschool-aged kids, one of whom is besties with Piper.
Yep, equally cray-cray.
The 2 of them together are just...
Madness. Yeah.
I've just heard the whole saga of their daily arguments at school today. Fun. And yeah, I live in Sydney, so that's where I'm coming from today.
So we are doing this little series where I am just showcasing some of the gorgeous people in our Enagic team, our TLLC team and community. Give us a little bit of, I guess, information or a little bit on your Enagic background. How did you come to be a part of this group?
So, like so many in our beautiful community, I have come from low ticket network marketing. So I came from the cold messaging and the hustle and the month end and the just intensity of that. And I was drawn to Enagic because what we do here is the complete opposite of that. I hadn't really heard anything about it until I watched Jay-Z move from her low ticket into Enagic, and her whole vibe completely changed. The hustle was gone, the stress was gone, and she just started showing up as herself and was killing it. And I just had to know what she was doing. So I think this is such a great thing about the business, right, is what I did then is exactly what everybody still does now. So I reached out, asked a few questions, watched a webinar, spoke to a digital sales specialist that was a total independent party, asked so many
all the questions.
Oh my gosh, me and my science brain asked all the questions. But it was really a no-brainer for me, and I jumped in, and I was too nervous to do anything for about a year.
Yeah, right.
I felt very much like I was doing the dirty on my low ticket because I loved the products, and I love the girls that were in my team in that as well. It just wasn't working for what I wanted for my family.
Yeah.
And so I had a husband and a boyfriend, as I like to say, for a while before I just had to make the decision that was best for the future I wanted for my family. And that's when I went, okay, it's going to be Enagic, let's do it. And I have not looked back.
Because you also work full time. Like you said, you've got the 3 kids, but you didn't mention that you also work full time.
That is true. I do work full time. So the hustle needed to be successful in low ticket just doesn't work with a full-time job because there is so much that you have to do yourself, whereas Enagic has so much automation that for me, working full-time and doing this is so much more in flow with my life. It's so much more simple, it's so much less stressful, and there's no going backwards. And so that run to the last day of the month is not something I need to bother myself with anymore.
Yeah. So you mentioned the automation, but what else is it about for the people who are just, and this might be the first of the videos that they've seen, give us a little bit information, I guess, about the difference between Enagic and low ticket, because we've sort of touched on that. But what is it about the Enagic model, in addition to that automation, that made you go, this is the thing that I need to be doing?
Hands down, legacy potential. Like that's 100% what it was. And the reason I say that is because you can work and get to the top of any business plan, but if something happens and you can't hustle anymore, if there's not a way for your family to continue to earn money from your business, it all goes away. And then it was all, I mean, it's for nothing,
Yeah.
right? Like the reason we do it is to get time freedom. And if you get to the top and you still have to hustle and put in all that, like you don't have the time freedom. And so what really drew me was the compensation plan and a few different aspects of it. The first one being you only have to make 18 sales a year and you are earning more than the average Australian full-time income.
Isn't that crazy?
Like, that is crazy for a start.
And that's something that you can do in your spare time. Like, we're not talking about having to quit everything that you're doing. You can do that as long as you're consistent. You can do that in your spare time. And when you say the average income, we're talking about it's about $100,000. It's a bit less than $100,000. But you can, like you said, in 18 sales, make $100,000. And you can be doing that after hours, before hours, at lunchtime, on the weekends. And it's so interesting. Like, what would you have to do in your job to get a $100,000 pay rise?
Does anyone get $100,000?
Oh my God, not us. Only the politicians, I think, and like the disgraced board members. It's like a bit of hush money.
And I feel like so much of the conversation around income is geared towards people who are like, join my business, quit your job.
Yeah.
But that's not what everybody wants. And
well, you haven't quit your job. You love your job, right?
I do. I love my job. I don't love that it's full time. I'd love to be able to get a bit of time back, but I don't want to quit my job. And the fact that I can do this and build this to legacy while I get to do the job that I love, it means that I get to retire early. And it means that if, touch wood, anything was to happen to me, there is payments that will come to my family. I can leave them in my will. If I get injured, one of the girls has just decided to go to Italy for 6 months and do nothing, and she's still bringing in income because of this business. And that's what I really think drew me in, and what all of the work I'm doing now is really focused on. Getting the monthly income is great, but I work full time, so that's not my main reason. My goal is to work and build to legacy, because that's when you get to take your foot off the pedal and actually enjoy spending time with your family and living your life. Because we're not here to work, rinse, repeat, go back to work again.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think that's such an important point, because people think, if you're talking about a side hustle, or, we talk about doing something additional, it will require, it's about short term. That's what, and obviously in low ticket, it is short term, because you're getting those quick sales. It's a couple of $100, $500,000. It's short term. Whereas the difference between this, and when we talk about high ticket, we're referring to the fact that it's, higher commissions because the price point is high. That's basically what high ticket means. But it's not that quick, injection of 4 figures, not like 3 figures. It's more about setting yourselves up. And that, I think, is a really important distinction to make, because we, especially our team, are all about setting people up for early retirement and having the most abundant AF retirement as possible, using this incredible business model and the legacy income.
Absolutely. That was the game changer for me, for sure.
Yeah. And I actually don't think it really, so I've been doing Enagic now since the beginning of the year. I actually don't think it really hit me until recently, when we've started to talk about it a bit more. Like, I always knew about the legacy income, but now that especially more people in Australia are earning it, you go, holy moly, that actually is money that will get paid to you every single month for the rest of your life and for the rest of your children's life. Like, everybody needs to be working, like, everyone should be working towards that. Why wouldn't everyone want that?
And I think it's like when you first get your first commission, right? You can look at the compensation plan and you go, oh yeah, that's amazing. I can make, $5,000 from that sale. That's really cool. But it's not until that $5,000 hits your bank account that you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we're cooking with gas. Yeah.
And so I think similar to that concept is the legacy concept. And you see these numbers and you go, oh yeah, that sounds great. That, that you have to have a huge following, or you have to have, this list of requirements that kind of mentally tick off, and you talk yourself out of that being something you can achieve.
Yeah.
But we know people, like my friends who I have watched from the beginning are earning legacy money.
Yeah.
And it's not some distant far off person whose name you've heard of in another country that's doing it. It's
who wears sequins at a convention and you see them cross the stage, like, oh, that's that one person that's earning 6 figures.
Absolutely. Like, these real people that are in our community that are in, for us, they're in Sydney, like they're 30 minutes up the road. Like, it actually happens. And I feel like that makes it feel so much more achievable and tangible and real, because you know the behind the dollars.
Yeah. So how has your life changed since starting Enagic? Like, what's different for you?
I think the main thing is that I'm really now more focused on long-term goals. And we spoke about how in low ticker, it's all about the month end and getting that next sale. And then you hit the end of the month and you go, oh my gosh.
Gotta do it all over again.
And so it's a really short-term view of the business cycle, whereas in this business, and the structure of the compensation plan means that I can think a lot more long-term now. And it's really taken a lot of the pressure off as well, because I do work. So if I have a particularly busy month at work, that doesn't impact anything, because it's an end of month target that I'm running towards. It is a long-term strategy that every sale is a building block towards that. And it doesn't matter how fast or slow you go, because there's no going backwards. And so I think just having that monthly pressure taken off has made this a lot more easy to do, because it's not done from a place of stress. It's done from a place of long-term, step by step getting to the end.
Yeah.
So I think kind of being the main thing.
Where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years with Enagic? What's the goal?
Look, I'm a simple girl with a simple goal. I just want to be able to say yes.
Yeah.
I want to be able to say yes to the kids when they say, Mum, can you please come to sports carnival? Mum, can you please work in the canteen? Mum, can you come and volunteer on my school excursion? I want my answer to be able to go, yep, sure. When is it? Without asking for a day off or calculating my leave or checking if I've got a meeting on, like, just the ability to say yes, but also sort of selfishly the ability to say yes to myself. I want to be able to go to the gym during the day. I want to be able to get a personal trainer if I want. I want to go out for lunch with the girls if I want, because I don't want to be bound by time or money to be able to live my life in the way that I choose to live it. So that's my goal. And, legacy income is just, it's a start, because you hit legacy, that if you keep building, that legacy just gets bigger and bigger. Yeah. So it's getting to legacy and then beyond, and helping other women to do the same. Like, I'm really passionate about I mean, look, we do have amazing men in our group as well, and I'm equally passionate about having them have an amazing retirement. But from my perspective, you know, I took time off to do a PhD. I took time off to have 3 kids. I worked part-time while they were really little. My super balance is rubbish.
Yeah.
And I have a good, and so I just know that so many women have to rely on the pension or their husband to have security in their retirement. And so what I really can't wait to do in the next 2 to 5 years is help as many people as possible really secure themselves for their retirement, because I can't think of anything more stressful than retiring and losing your regular income, but being stuck in a rental that the rent keeps going up and the pension from the government doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is a vehicle that we can help so many people avoid that. And so I just want to help as many other people come on this journey with us as I can.
I love that. You know, I used to be a financial planner and I would see people come in all the time who were not prepared for their retirement. And they just did not have any concept of how much money they needed in retirement. So, you know, whether they were renting or not renting, the expenses, and you talk about the rent going up. I was chatting to someone last night who was in a rental in the city. It's gone up from $850 to $1,500 in the last, I'd say, 2 years. That's insane. Like literally mind-blowing. And you talk about CPI, 6%, like nothing is actually keeping up with that. So it's really, really important, especially for women, as you said, because we do tend to spend more time out of the workforce. Not only that, we work for less. We get paid less, and we also get offered less hours because of obvious reasons.
For full-time working women, we work for free from 3 p.m. on a Thursday because
that is so depressing.
I know, right? So
but that's fine because everyone goes home at 3 o'clock on a Thursday, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, right.
It is hardworking people who aren't, you know, the head of Macquarie Bank type roles. I'm talking about our nurses, oh my God. Sorry, that's the crazy kids I was talking about before. You know, our police officers, our nurses, our teachers who do the really hard job.
Keep society going, basically.
They keep society going, and they don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
And they don't have enough at the end, and it's bullshit. And this is a way they can keep doing their job if that's what they want to do, but have some extra future planning going on in the background so they don't end up in that situation where it gets to retirement. They go and see a lovely financial planner like you used to be, Lynette, who has to break the news to them that they actually can't afford to.
That they're fucked. Yeah.
100%.
Okay, so why don't you, because this is sort of, I guess, a call to arms for people. Like, we want people to get involved, get active. Watch, obviously, this masterclass, but the big call to arms is join our amazing community. We want to help you. So can you just give us a little bit of info about our incredible TLLC community that's growing, which is amazing, but just share a little bit about us to anyone listening.
What I love about our community is we are all from different states, different family situations, different age groups, we're all really, really different, but we are all working towards the same goal, and we all share this passion of building to a legacy income for ourselves and our families in the future. And what that means as a collective, we are so supportive of each other, and if anyone has a question or they don't know how to, or something as real, like, so simple, I couldn't figure out how to get this stupid Zoom that I was doing last night working.
So funny.
I had so many people helping me that it was amazing. And I love that about our community is that we are all in this together, and we are all helping each other grow, and it's so supportive. And I feel like it's really rare that you can get a group of people who are really diverse, but all come together and work seamlessly towards a common goal that is just us all wanting time and financial freedom in our future. And so it's the support and the cheering. I'll put something up and they'll love on my post. They're so proud that my son did well in his cross country. And it's just, I live away from family. And so it's like having a little family here that's, they cheer on your wins, they pick you up when you've had a loss. It's a great bunch of people, and we're growing, and I'm so excited every time one of them achieves a new sale or they learn a new thing on social media or
kick some goals.
We're kicking goals, and it's amazing. I love us.
I love us too. I also think that for a lot of people that work in corporate, for example, that community is missing. It's very get in the front door, get your shit done, get out the door, especially for women who might have kids. You're rushing around, you're in and you're out to get home and then do the do at home.
Yeah.
So I think that even people who might be earning a lot of income, enjoying what they do, not necessarily thinking about doing things dramatically different in their lives. But I do think that's one of the appeals, aside from obviously the legacy income that we've been talking about, but the fact that we do have this community. It's something that a lot of people are missing in their other, work lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And in my role, I don't work in an office.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially since COVID as well, right? A lot of people don't even go into an office anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no Friday night drinks. And whether
that's the only reason you'd have a job.
Yeah. Some people, it's because they're not in the office. But for me, it's because I had to come home to the kids as well, right? And in my role, I don't go into an office. And today's a perfect example. I was just sitting here because my husband's away for work this week. And I just needed somebody to talk to. I hadn't had a conversation with anyone for so long. And I was just, and I'm chatting to people, and I called some of the girls in the collective. And, it's just a community, and it's so good to feel part of something. And it's also amazing to all be in the same general time zone. Like, we are across Australia, so we are a little off. But my last team were all in the US, so anytime I had a question, they were all asleep. So it's good, and we catch up in person.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Favorite.
So my last question is just coming back to the masterclass that's on next Thursday and Friday, our side of the world time, the Wednesday night, Thursday night, the other side of the world. And just curious, what are you most looking forward to? Or what is something that you think people will be able to take away? Why should they get excited about the masterclass?
What I love about these masterclasses is that you're hearing directly from the people that have gone before you. So everybody that's presenting, everyone's kind of got their own unique skill set that they're going to be talking about, but they've all come from exactly where we start from, and they've built. So everything that they're talking about comes from their own personal experience, what they have done to get to legacy, their learnings. They share so much value in what they do on a daily basis, all their strategies. There'll be social media strategies, there'll be business strategies. There's so much value to offer people who are in the masterclass. But I think as well, just come and get a taste of the community, right? There's no pressure. There's no, again, one of the things I love, there's no hard sell in this, because we only want people who share this vision of legacy to come and with us. And the only way you're really going to know if this is for you is to just check it out. And you will not get 15 follow-up hey girl messages afterwards. That is not, number one, gross. but also like that's not what I'm here for.
Who has the time for that, right? It's like,
oh, no. So it's amazing to just be able to tap in, get some information, ask a few questions. I'll say, what did you think? And if you say, yep, that was great, then absolutely we can share the next steps with you, give you a little bit more information. And if not, awesome, thanks for coming. You know, like it's...
And even those people will get some incredible information from it, because the people that are teaching are absolute business like gurus. And so even if it's not something that people decide to continue with or learn more about, the downloads of just hearing these people in their genius zone, which is all about doing business a different way, so with ease and with flow, so the new paradigm of business, the new way of doing things. So even if people aren't thinking, you know, this is something I'm going to go forward with, the amount of information that you'll get and the value that you'll get is like second to none.
Absolutely. And if this isn't for you, there's all of that you can apply to whatever business model you choose to partner with moving forward. So it's a win-win-win.
Exactly. Well, thank you, my darling. Was there anything that you would like to just add before we wrap up today's little chat?
Not really. I think I've touched on all the things that I'm really passionate about with this business. But I think the one last little message is don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to reach out. I know a lot of people watching this will have been burnt because they asked one question about an eye cream and then got 500 follow-up messages. That's not what happens. I promise that is not what's going to happen. If you're at all interested, just ask, because you honestly have nothing to lose, but you could gain so much just by asking the questions. So, yeah.
Love that. Okay, so if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about the masterclass, which is on next week, I have a link in my bio. Alice has a link in her bio as well. All you have to do is jump on there, click the link, you can register, and you'll get added to the Facebook group. And of course, if you've got any like specific questions, reach out to Alice or I, and we will answer them for you. But thank you for joining us on 10 Days of TLLC. Chat to you soon. Bye.